Hello friends, welcome to Phases of Spice. I'm your hostess, Selena Stewart. So it's rhubarb season as well as strawberry season. So I couldn't help myself, and so we're going to make chicken with strawberry rhubarb glaze. Over jasmine rice. Stay tuned. The ingredients we're going to use today are pre-sliced chicken tenderloins from my local farmer's market. I got a stalk of rhubarb, some fresh strawberries. I'm going to use brown sugar, cooking oil, jasmine rice. I love the easy boil in the bag. And then we're going to use our all-purpose seasoning called Everything's Covered. So let's get cooking. So the first thing we are going to do is take part of this rhubarb. And this is because I'm only going to make a small batch today. So this whole stalk would make a lot. So what I'm going to do, here we go. And it's interesting, if you haven't had rhubarb before, it's kind of a celery. Like that's probably the closest thing I can think of when you're using rhubarb. So I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to cut this end off. And we're going to discard this. So what I do, because what I want to do is take off this outer layer, but to make it easier, I cut it down the middle. And then if you use your knife and just kind of take right from the top, and you see how it peels right off? Let's try this again. Again, just put your knife right under that top layer and just peel. And don't forget to do the underside as well. Sometimes you may have to just flip it to the other side just to make sure, again, you kind of get that top layer off. And then the under. Now I'm going to chop this into just smaller pieces. And the reason I'm doing this is because when we actually put it in the pot to simmer down with the strawberries, the smaller your pieces, the quicker it is for this to actually simmer down and become a nice, a nice smooth texture. Now we're going to start chopping up our strawberries. Just chunk pieces are good. Again, I'm only using 4 strawberries because we're making a smaller batch today. And as I said, it's rhubarb season, so I know at your local farmers markets, if there's a bakery in there, there are these strawberry rhubarb pies and jams that are, it's the season for it. So I would suggest you go get some. All right, so now we have our rhubarb and strawberries cut up. And we're going to move on over to our pot so that we can add the brown sugar and start simmering it down for our sauce. So before we actually simmer down our strawberries and rhubarb, I'm actually going to take the time to slice our chicken tenderloins first. That way, while our rhubarb and strawberries are simmering down, we can also be frying up our chicken. So my daughter found this really cool hack on TikTok for us to be able to remove the tendon from our tenderloins. And so let's see if it works. So you need a fork, a paper towel for grip. Here's the tendon. We're going to actually put the tendon in between the fork prongs. Let's see. All right, I'm going to grab it with the paper towel, and we're supposed to be able to pull it out. Let's see. All right, here we go. Woo! Now that was pretty cool. All right, let's try another one. Okay, so I have my fork, found the tendon. We gotta put that in between. Paper towel for grip. All right, let's see. Oh, this is great. You gotta love these little hats that you find all over the place. I've actually already removed the tendons from my other tenderloins. So now I'm just gonna start chopping them up. I have 4 tenderloins here. And I'm gonna move this over to my garbage pile. And I'm just gonna start slicing. Now, some people like to slice their chicken after they cook it. Whatever floats your boat. So, I'm gonna cube my chicken as I'm cutting him. And as I said before, it's completely up to the individual if they wanna slice their chicken before or after. I just always slice mine in the beginning because I like to season my meat before it goes in the pot or the pans, and I just feel like it holds the flavor better. Okay, so now my chicken is cut and cubed, and you see I just pulled out another, everything's covered. This is unopened, and I realized, wait, I have one in the cabinet. So we're gonna finish this one up first. And I am just going to season it quite liberally, because again, because there's no salt, go all out. And it actually won't overpower our strawberry and rhubarb sauce. It just adds, it just increases your the flavor palette. Nice and seasoned. Now we're gonna go and start prepping our frying pan for our chicken and our sauce pot for our strawberry and rhubarb. So this is a pretty quick meal, which is great. So you can do it, you know, during the week, something quick on Saturday. So with that being said, you see I have 3 pots at the ready. So this here is a pot of water. I'm going to turn this on, and this is where I'm going to be boiling my rice. This is for my chicken. So I am going to put some oil in the pan so we can start getting that heated up. And over here will be for our strawberry rhubarb sauce. So I'm using a 1/2 cup of the brown sugar. I'm actually going to use a little bit of water. I'm going to use 1/2 of this here. I'm going to just pour this in. It'll just help it to melt. Turn this on. And you see here, if you take a look in the pot, you see how it's flattening out, which is great. So I'm going to add our strawberries and rhubarb. Now you want to watch this because it actually cooks down pretty quick. So you don't want to walk away and just say, oh, I'll come back in a 1/2 hour. You don't want to do that. I'm stirring this up just so it gets coated. And I'm going to put the top on so it can start to reduce. So while that is happening over there, now I'm going to put in our chicken. Let that cook. Our water is already boiling, so I'm going to use my Jasmine Rice. I'm just going to drop a bag on in. So, my daughter and I are kind of giggling because we're so used to making large batches that I really did put probably too much oil in this pan, but we're just trying to be, again, just trying to make it in small batches. It's not easy for us because we have a household of 4. And so, yeah, we usually make more than this. So while the chicken is cooking, I'm going to come back over here and stir my sauce. If you see here, it's already starting to bubble. And remember what I told you, that it cooks, it kind of cooks down pretty fast. So you want to be careful. FYI, the reason I know it cooks so fast is because the first time I made this, I didn't realize this how fast it was going to cook, and it actually overflowed all over the stove, and it took me about 2 days to get the entire stove cleaned up. So, FYI. Let's take a look. See, everything's bubbling now. That is great. And it's getting very soft, which is what we want it to do. So now what I'm going to do is put my lid on. I'm going to give it some air. So I'm kind of doing it at an angle. And I'm going to reduce my flame to kind of a medium low. So it's on low, but kind of between low and medium. I'm going to let it cook down. So I'm going to turn my chicken off and I'm going to drain it because we don't want, of course, all this grease. We're going to give our rice a few more minutes because it takes about 10 minutes to cook. We're going to leave our chicken here. I'm just going to cover it up to keep it warm and continue to stir our sauce. Look at that. It looks delicious. So we'll check back on our rhubarb and strawberry sauce in about 3 minutes and do another stir. So our rice should be about done now. Just going to take it and drain it. Give our rhubarb a stir. It looks great. And you can actually pick it up and you see how it looks like there's little strips in there. That's your rhubarb breaking down. Again, as I said earlier, it's similar to celery, so it does have a bitter taste to it. Thus why most people combine the rhubarb with a fruit or something sweet. It balances out the, again, the flavor of the bitter rhubarb. So strawberry is very popular. I've actually made the same dish and included blueberries. So I had rhubarb, strawberry, and blueberries. So again, whatever floats your boat, whatever sweetness you like. Again, it's rhubarb season, so this is the time of year to get it, and so you can start playing around with it. All right, so our rhubarb and strawberry mixture, I'm turning that off now. So we've cooked this down for about 15-20 minutes. It is completely up to the individual how much longer you want it to go. I like mine to have some chunks left. So do you see there's some texture of strawberry? You actually see some of the rhubarb strings here. And that's exactly how I like mine. And I'm going to use this, again, over my chicken and my rice. It just gives it, again, a little more texture. So now we are going to plate our meal. I'm going to start with my rice. My chicken wants to go all over the place, but that's okay. And now the best part. Here's our finished product. Our strawberry and rhubarb sauce over our chicken tenderloins over jasmine rice. What a combination. So, as I do with all my videos, we have to do the taste test. Here we go. Of course, I need some of everything. I'm not tooting my own horn, but whoop whoop, this is really good. I just have to say, as I said before, such a quick and easy meal. It's one of those seasonal favorites, especially once you have those rhubarb and strawberries, or again, any fruit that you like. So, tell us what you think. Leave a comment below, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. I'll see you next time.